Hey everybody, Dave here, and I wanted to send you all a quick video message on this bright, shiny day. Man, it is lovely out, and it is my absolute hope that you are able to get outside and get out of the fitness centers, get out of the weight rooms, get out of the hot yoga studios, and see nature at its finest. Hitting up local trails, going hiking, going to the beach, whatever you're doing. And meanwhile, you're accumulating minutes towards your activity logs. One of the hardest things to do is to kind of sustain that energy. And I know for the first couple of weeks it's really easy to exercise, but this is going to be the time of the quarter in which uh, those continuation of those habits can be really challenging, especially if exercise is fairly new. So I want to encourage you to stay the course. Remember, summertime's around the corner, and we're all going to want to be in great shape for the summer, for going to the beach, etc. But if you're really struggling with motivation, I do want to encourage you to really question what your motive is for this class. Now, obviously, you want to pass the class, but I mean motive for health and PE in general. I always encourage students, set goals, and when you're done setting goals, set more. And don't just think 2 weeks, 10 weeks down the line. I'm thinking like in 1 year, where do you want to be? What do you want to do? What kind of things do you want to partake in? And setting, and then beyond that, you're always thinking long term. Right now, I'm thinking I have to run a race to qualify for another race, and then when that race is done, I'm going to qualify for another. So for the next 2 years, I'm ready to go. And I learned my lesson the hard way a few years ago by finishing a race and not having anything on the calendar. So I didn't run for like 3 months, and I kind of hit a lull. So I've always found that setting goals and kind of putting things on the calendar and paying for these events, even if they're just a few dollars, it kind of encourage me to get out the door and fulfill the promise I make to myself for health and wellness. In any case, your activity logs look great. The sessions that you discuss at the end of each exercise session have been really good. I'm very pleased to see what, for the most part, unless I made some comments about, any points that you may have missed, I'm very pleased with for the most part, with the activity logs that have been submitted thus far. In the coming weeks, we have a lot more of the same. So what I would like to do is connect with you a little bit more. You can find me on Instagram. I'm at whisper_running, and that is whisper_running. And I would love to follow you. I was thinking about this on my run this morning. I went out for 10 miles, and I'm like, man, this trail is gorgeous. I was at Lacamas Trail at like 6 a.m. It's just absolutely gorgeous. There's a low-lying fog. And I was like, man, I wonder what my PE 108ers are doing right now. And quite honestly, they're probably asleep. But I mean, if there is anyone who's actually as eager as I am to just kind of see what other people are doing, I would love to see what you're doing. So add me on Instagram. I'll add you back. And it would just be great to see you connected with the outside world, with the exercise world, just showing everybody that you're outside and you're proud to live in the Pacific Northwest where you can, I mean, it's just gorgeous out there. Even in the rain, some of these trails are gorgeous to run on. In any case, so yeah, that's that. Now, there was one more thing. One of your peers sent me a message asking if they're going to do weights, is it okay to do cardio the day you're going to do weights, especially on a leg day? You know what, man, for the 99% of the population, exercise is good no matter what you're doing first. I will say, if you're going to really focus on a leg day and do kind of a heavier day on legs, you might want to back off on the cardio a little bit. You really want to just get the cardio in just to kind of get those muscles lubricated and joints lubricated. But for the most part, you don't want to put in like half an hour session before a heavy squat day. But cardio is great because it's perfect. It's good for the heart. Whereas weight training doesn't necessarily improve directly heart health. Whereas so if you have a family history of heart disease, you may want to do a little bit more cardio than maybe what your plan prescribes. But with that being said, I do want to say that I was really excited to receive that email and correspond with one of your peers. So if you guys have any questions, man, either hit me up on Instagram or hit me up in Canvas. Probably Canvas for the questions, and just so I can remember, I keep those, and I like to discuss these things in future video messages. And so I wanted to bring that question of cardio versus weights, which one do I do first, etc. And again, typically it's going to be weights because weights are going to require a little bit more of a control, a little bit more of what I call an intentional focus. And when you are intentionally focusing on an exercise, you're really having to be cautiously aware of how much weight you're using, especially if you're doing something like bench press. And if you're, heaven forbid, if you're doing it alone, especially, you don't want to be fatigued from a cardio bout if you're going to go heavy. So He's a spotter, but in any case, so there's a few factors there. But I'm just going to say, for the most part, for the majority of the population, just getting exercise in, that's a great starting point. And so, when you start to really, I'll say, mold your plan and start getting really specific with your goals, and start to dial in what it is you like and what it is you don't like so much. You also have to consider family history. Is there a history of osteoporosis or some kind of chronic illness? And what type of exercise modality will be best for that chronic illness? If you have any questions about that, or anything about your exercise logs, or anything about anything that I might bring up in a video message, I want you to reply, because it gives me something to discuss in these video messages. And I have notes actually from last quarter right here as my little prompts, the things I get to talk about. And last quarter, this week, I talked about warm-ups and cool-downs and most common problems, which was the most big one last quarter, if you can believe it or not, was motivation. But last quarter, the weather sucked, you know what? So, I mean, like, there was no fun in that. But this quarter, man, it's not exactly terrible. I mean, today is like 1,000 degrees outside, so I like that. In any case, that's probably enough. Hope you guys are doing well, and hit me up with any questions you might have later.